Over 1 billion people visit libraries every year. The average person checks out 7 books per year. By the way, today is December 10th, National Dewey Decimal System Day. So it is indeed National Dewey Decimal System Day. Got a little bit of a tongue twister there from our tongue twister day. Unless you're an avid library goer, the last time you probably even thought about the Dewey Decimal System was back in elementary and middle school, maybe high school, and probably kind of confusing then. But the Dewey Decimal System, despite all the advancements we have in technology in just about any field that you think about, the Dewey Decimal System still continues to be used today. So today's holiday is actually to celebrate the man who created the Dewey Decimal System, Melville Dewey. He was born on December 10th, 1851, so that's why today's date of December 10th was chosen, the day he was born. He was 25 years old when he put into use the Dewey Decimal System that he had started creating 4 years prior when he was 21 years old in college. So accomplished a lot in just a short period of time in his life. And it's the most widely used system to organize libraries around the world. Even though we don't use card catalogs anymore, maybe we remember those from school, depending on when we went. We had those large card catalogs that had all sorts of cards, and librarians and students that helped in the library would get upset anytime they weren't put back in the right way. They were all organized by the Dewey Decimal System. But despite not having those, the Dewey Decimal System is still used and maintained and organized on computers and other like programs in libraries that they all have access to. And that leads us to our by the way fact today. Do you know how many different libraries around the world use the Dewey Decimal System? Well, if you would guess more than 200,000 libraries in 135 countries, you would have been correct. I don't have an exact number of how many libraries there are in the world, but it's an absolute fact that the majority of libraries in the world use the Dewey Decimal System. So how does the Dewey Decimal System work? Do you remember that from school? Obviously, it's a way to organize things. But the way it works is there's actually 10 different classes or categories that topics are broken into. And the number is of 00 to 99 are general works books. 100 to 199 are philosophy and psychology. 200 to 299 is religion. 300 to 399 is social sciences. 400 to 499 language. 500 to 599 natural sciences and mathematics. 600 to 699 is technology. 700 to 799 the arts. 800 to 899, literature and rhetoric, and 900 to 999 is history, biography, and geography. And then each of those 10 classes is still broken down 2 more times inside of them. So all sorts of organization, very deep organization. And again, you can go to almost any of those libraries in the world, over 200,000 of them, and those numbers would be the same in the United States as they would in any of the other 134 countries around the world. You wanted a book about language, that librarian would be able to point you to exactly where they are, and you would already probably know where they are if you knew those numerical categories. So how are we celebrating Dewey Decimal System today? Easiest thing we can do is go to the library, look for a book on a category that interests us, and use the Dewey Decimal System to find that book and check it out and read it. You also could use today, December 10th, to start the Dewey Decimal System Challenge. What's that, you ask? Well, that's to read 1 book from every class of the Dewey Decimal System. So that's definitely a worthwhile goal, I would say, to go ahead and get that done. You also, if you have a large book collection at home, go ahead and, now that you've got all the categories, organize it according to the Dewey Decimal System at home. And when people come over, want to read a book, you can take them to their books, pull up your Dewey Decimal System, and show them and be able to tell them exactly where that book is. No more second guessing on where your books are. So that's going to end today's episode on the Dewey Decimal System. You can go to bythewaytodayis.com to listen to older episodes, follow, rate, and subscribe to the podcast there, and come back tomorrow, and we'll have a new day that we can celebrate together. Talk to you then. If you enjoy By the Way Today Is, please be sure to follow, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. If you have a holiday that you'd like to have talked about, please email it to btwtodayis@gmail.com.